where Bix's character went, just the event of it. Do you think it was necessary for where her character is at now?
Yeah. I like what it does to her character a lot.
I do too.
I like the character development that's coming from that a ton. It doesn't feel like it's just thrown in there. It feels used, and it feels used
absolutely
in an impactful way.
Yes. And I think a lot of people might have been concerned that it was thrown in there just in the context of the first three to make Star Wars feel gritty and real.
Right.
I'm glad that these episodes made it feel, like you said, impactful. Like they're using it for a purpose for Bix's character. And I do like what she's kind of going through right now. You know what I mean? As a character standpoint. For what they're doing with the dynamic between her and Cassian and her relationship with Luthen. And it's just very interesting.
Yeah.
I like that dynamic.
I do absolutely understand all the people who don't like it.
Absolutely.
And I think calling them out is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because they're having the reaction you're supposed to have to an event like that.
Yeah.
They're feeling disgusted and they're feeling sick to their stomach. That's the reaction you're supposed to have to seeing something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
To make fun of people for just not liking it, they had the reaction they're supposed to have. They're just like, I just don't want to see that stuff ever again.
Yeah.
Like that.
That's fair. How do you argue against that?
I think the people who got on social media and made clips making fun of people who didn't like that scene are so much more toxic than the people who didn't like it. That's insane to me. The argument is, I like that stuff. You just have to accept that that is going to mess with people more than it is going to mess with you. And that's fine.
Yeah.
I want to talk about like the demonic stuff.
Yeah.
Like we don't like demonic things.
No.
You know, we just choose not to watch that stuff. We don't let that stuff in.
Yeah.
And there's
Absolutely.
people who can watch that stuff and be totally unaffected and then not affect them as much as it affects us. And I think that's totally fine. But to make fun of someone, to call people out,
You're putting them down, essentially.
putting
for
them
having
down
that-
for having a visceral, uncomfortable, sickening reaction to seeing something
That's awful.
sick and awful and inhumane.
Yeah.
The most inhumane thing that could ever happen to a person. You're making fun of somebody because they were so sickened by it, they don't want to see it ever again. I just think you are just as toxic as anybody else.
all those videos were getting made and like people were being made fun of without these 3 episodes that we just watched.
Yeah.
Like in that time between.
Right.
If you had an argument that said, well, I understand why it's there. It serves the character. We didn't even know that. We had no clue where they were going with it. It did feel like I like that scene. I think it should have been in Star Wars. And it's like that.
I think it belongs in Star Wars.
I just don't.
I don't know that it belongs in anything, man.